everybody. Happy Saturday to you. I hope you are having an amazing Saturday and an amazing weekend. My name is Don Terrell, and I want to welcome you to another great episode of The Color of Motion, where I like to say, hey, stories come in all shades. And I highlight people of color and diverse backgrounds in the industry of motion graphics, animation, visual effects, cartoons, and comics. This space that I am just ecstatically crazy about. You know the drill. Hop on in, say hey. I always tell everybody this is an interactive show, so I definitely want to hear from you. Hop into the comments where you're tuning in from so I can give you a shout out. But while you're doing that, make sure that you hop on over to the Facebook group community. Get plugged in, facebook.com/groups/The Color of Motion. Become a part of our family. I come from a large family, so I love a large family. So I definitely don't want you to miss out. Having great conversations, sharing industry news, and just all around fun over there. So again, make sure you hop on over to facebook.com/groups/The Color of Motion and join the TCOM family. Also, big shout out for today's sponsor of the show, DG Graphics. Want to give them a shout out. Hopefully my thing is right. There we go. DG Graphics. They do all the graphics, overlays, animations, make us look good. And if you're a business or a brand that's looking to level up, simplify your brand message, and put out some great content, you definitely want to reach out to them and give them a shout. So always have a lot of massive love for DG Graphics for sponsoring the show as well. You know the drill. The store is open, so make sure you hop on over to the shop, pick you up some swag, Color of Motion swag. You know my passion or my calling or my mission. My mission is to see as many people in Color of Motion gear as possible. Have some great shirts, hoodies, mugs. I'm constantly putting new things up there. So make sure you hop on over to thecolorofmotion.net/swag and pick you up something. All I ask is that if you do, make sure you take a snapshot of yourself, send it to me so I can share it on the show, share it on the social channels, and share you out to the community. So, yeah. What else? We are live each and every week here, Saturday, 3 p.m., live to the YouTube channel, LinkedIn, the Facebook group, and the website for the show. But you can reach me here on my social channels. Definitely want to hear from you. Always let me know, who you might want me to get on. Give me good feedback for the show because it helps me to make the show the best possible show that I can make it. So always enjoy hearing from the viewers so you can connect with me on all my social channels there for sure. Like I said, we're on LinkedIn and the website and Facebook group, but I do always encourage everybody to hop on over to the YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the bell notification, comment, because it helps the algorithm. And you can check out all the other past great guests that we've had on the show. So definitely hop on over to youtube.com/Don Terrell and subscribe and be a part of the family. Yeah, awesome. Well, like I said, I think I got a lot of the housekeeping stuff out the way, so I'm super excited about today's episode. This guy here is hilarious. We've been going back and forth. I met him a little while ago. Like I said, we've been going back and forth, and finally have gotten him on the show. So super looking forward to sitting down, chopping it up with him, seeing what's going on in his world, and just having a fun conversation. So I think we're, kind of ready to get this show on the road. What do you say? Hey? Yep. We are back and getting ready to get this one kicked off. Like I said, I'm sitting super excited and looking forward to having my next guest on. Great brother, funny brother as well, man. So without further ado, let me read off his bio here. He is a fan of comics and wanted to go into a retail location, but then the recession hit and he had to pivot. And Comic Crusaders went from a store to an informational outlet podcast. They support all comics and pop culture in general, with an emphasis on independent creators and their projects across a plethora of genres and platforms. They don't just cover comics anymore. But we're going to have a great conversation about comics and what he's been doing. Everybody, please help me welcome my very special guest, Mr. Al Mega.
Well, yeah, I made it, folks. I made it. I am on the color of motion with Don Terrell. Oh my God, I am so honored. I made it. I made it, folks. Mama, I'm here. Woo!
This has been a long time coming, brother. And like I said, I knew it was going to happen, but I am just super glad to finally get you on the show, man, and sit down
Yeah.
and chop it up with you, brother, for sure. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing a little bit of yourself with my audience there. But I have to always kind of ask, what got you kind of going in comics when you were younger and really kind of interested in this genre?
All right. So the story actually, about comics is funny. It's just, I was about 8 years old. I'm a little kid. We're in an airport. I had comics prior, but not something I really gave it much thought. But it was when I was 8 years old, going to Puerto Rico. My mama wanted to shut me up because we were in an airport, Eastern Airlines. Yeah, going back, folks. Wanted to shut me up. You're like, all right, pick a book from that thing over there. All right. So I went to the
Okay.
spinny rack. The first time I was seeing, I was ooh, and I picked up Chris Star, the Crystal Warrior, #2. And I'm like, ooh, look at this. And I still have it, folks. I mean, this is the actual comic right
Holy
here.
mackerel.
I kept
Wow.
it. I mean, it is beat up like crap, but I kept it. That my mother even still impressed. I'm like, this is why you're one of my favorites. You actually keep your stuff in shape. I love you, Danny and Chris. I'm only playing. So once I got that and I read that story, I was like, ooh, is that I saw more like this. So at that time, Mama also had my baby brother. So I figured out a way how I could get more of these. I said, okay, Mom, when you go out, you don't have to take us. I could babysit, but if you bring me back a couple of books. Man, she was bringing me back Savage Sword of Conan, Transformers, G.I. Joe. I mean, she should not have been bringing me Savage Sword of Conan, but she saw the cool covers, but not looking inside where I'm seeing boobs and things that I shouldn't be seeing at that age. But hey, this is why I'm a massive Conan fan. I got, I'm working towards getting them. Thank you, Mama, for inspiring that. But that was it, and it was the stories that took me away. Because again, being a young man, we weren't privileged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The getaways were far and few in between, and
Yeah.
to have something to actually get away and take me to a whole other universe other than the norms of growing up in New York. Because again, it's a Latin family. There's arguments, there's happiness, but there's ups, there's a lot of downs,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and sometimes just to have that, and she helped me build that. She will pick me up some of the cool. I don't know how mommy did it, but she was always bringing me up the cool stuff until I discovered a comic shop, and then it was really a wrap.
Yeah.
You know?
Nah, I was the same way with my toys. I was a
Oh,
big
and toys, me
I was a
too.
big GI Joe nut, and so every year, and I still have some of my GI Joe. I hate to grab it, but I still
Oh
have
my
some of
God,
my. These are the
Don.
big. These are the big GI Joes here,
Oh, he
man.
got the. I'm sorry, I forgot. Me and Don are a different age group, so yeah, those are his GI Joes. I got a whole bunch of my GI Joes. The 3.5 inch. I
No,
just
baby,
finished.
I got the
I just.
original 12.
He has volume 1. I'm on volume 2. You know what I mean? Hey, it is what it is. Don,
But
and I just finished my dreadnoughts. I got all the complete dreadnoughts from Volume 2 and all the vehicles. And
oh
then all of
man,
a sudden, they have a new series called Classified, which is bigger than mine, smaller than yours, and in between for both of us to
yeah,
love.
yeah, 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 man.
And the
Like I said,
Classified.
and you don't, like I said, you don't know how she does. You don't know how they do it, but they just go out of their way to make sure they get you something. And she got me
Like,
something, GI Joe, every Christmas. I would get the J.C. Penney book, and wow, they got this
oh
new.
my God. He said J.C. Penney book. Oh my gosh.
You
Going
know,
back.
I'm dating myself, people. We used to live for the Christmas edition of the J.C.
Bro,
Penney.
yo, not just that. What was the other one? And Finger Hut.
Yeah, yeah.
They had good stuff too, man. All the GI Joes and Transformers.
Oh
That was my
man.
jam too, brother.
Oh man. Now I wish
Salute
I
to
was
that.
smart. I wish I was smart then and said, "Hey, can you get me two? I'll keep one in the package and
Yeah,
play with
okay.
the other one."
Your
I
mother
I
would be,
played
your
with all
parents
my
would have been
stuff.
like, "Are you crazy? You understand?" Yeah. If only we had some way to tell the future. Like, Ma, you have no idea what you're talking
No,
about. I could buy you
no,
a house in the future. Trust me. Don't listen
no
to Dad.
idea, man. All
You
my
have to
stuff.
go through Mom. Honestly, at least in my house was Mom. Because if
Yeah.
I say that shit to Dad, you know what I mean? Dad, it's a no. Nope. What are you talking about? That's what kids, you know what I mean? He was the one that would pull out the book and be like, smell it before before he hit me. Oh man, no, I don't want to
Oh
smell
man. But I
it.
did pretty good. I kept pretty much, I'd say 80% of my toys that I got, I still have. So
80.
yeah, there was
You
a
were an only child.
no, no, no. There was
No,
there was 10 of us. There was 10 of us.
10.
Yes,
Yo,
there was 10.
beyond the Brady Bunch. My God, Don, how
Yeah.
you survive?
Oh man, but like I said, when you think about it though, the toys today just aren't like the toys that we had back then. It's just
Preach.
no different. And it's funny. It was like when you think about it, I was like, boy, they really didn't care too much about our safety when we were younger because
Oh, absolutely not.
we had some crazy toys.
Oh, I mean, we have machine guns that look like real guns. You go out on the street with those today, you getting shot. I mean, for real. I mean,
Oh
our
man.
cap guns and everything. It's wild. I
Uh,
mean, it's bugging. I mean, it was good times though. We had
yeah, it
great stuff.
was. It
We had a
was.
wonderful childhood. I think before the internet, we got to experience life,
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah, yeah,
And now
yeah.
people experience it through a headset on their eyes. Let's go outside. Put on your virtual camera. All right. I mean, where's smell-o-vision? They haven't made smell-o-vision at least to make it,
Yeah,
a,
they're
a
working
full
on. Trust me,
experience.
they're working on that. As soon as they can make it like that, it's like they don't like
Oh
going
my,
outside and playing
oh my
anymore.
God. The last place I'd want to smell is New Jersey, to be honest. But whatever.
I mean, so now, do you feel like talking on that? And because, like you said, you initially wanted to do like a comic book store.
Yeah.
Do you feel like comic book stores now are almost a novelty kind of thing in the past because of the times that we're living in, or do you feel like there's still this? I mean, there's a lot of Comic Cons, and we were just talking about this, before the show. It is a big industry. A lot of things, it's a big industry, and a lot of people love comics, but you don't quite see a lot of comic book stores more so than our
Well,
conventions and just
I think you
um,
gotta blame distributors for that because they put a heavy burden on comic book stores to order X amount. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
unfortunately, there are some stores that are chains, and those obviously will get priority on these distributors.
yeah,
So when these poor guys get that priority from the distributors, and they're trying to now spend that excessive money that they don't have, I mean, it makes it difficult on the store to try and survive. They
yeah,
got to pull out these books. How? I see, unfortunately, a lot of shops having to do an every 3 month $1 sale. I mean, how
mm,
much are they losing on that? I mean,
yeah,
and how are they making their money back? Is it hopefully on the volume, and then they buy something off the wall that actually matters? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, so
yeah,
comic shops still matter, yes,
yeah,
but I think that distributors, have a responsibility to help these stores thrive somehow. You
yeah,
know what I mean? And stores also have a responsibility to market properly. I mean, hey, I exist. Don't allow the bigger
Yeah.
shops to be the only ones with their marketing out there, because I only really see one or two or three stores really. How about I know that there's other shops, especially here in Massachusetts, ton of shops, but
Yeah.
I don't see them, market themselves and
Yeah.
put yourselves out there. We want what you are selling. The
Yeah.
community does want it.
Yeah.
People are hunting. And I know I could name you two shops in Birmingham, Massachusetts right now that you need to be going to because they have gems at,
Wow.
at prices that you wouldn't believe.
Wow. Wow.
You
And
know?
do you also put it on, like you said, like we were kind of playing around with, or kind of kidding around with, just how it is today, on the way kids today are kind of consuming, stuff
Oh, it's way
digitally,
different. Yeah, way
digitally
different.
as opposed to, I still like the,
Physical media.
yeah, the physical. I think there's still, and obviously collectors
Yeah,
understand
Funko
that.
collectors. I think that's the biggest physical media right now. I mean, you go to a convention, there's Funko in every aisle. Like, my
Yeah.
gosh, we're over. I think Funko's gonna go the ET route, and it's gonna be buried somewhere in the desert. A couple of handful. You know what I mean? Just to control that volume because it's too much. I mean, certain things are given too much priority. I mean, let's go back to the real focus of stuff, folks. Which is
Yeah.
these wonderful creators that made these wonderful products. It wasn't the movies first;
Yeah.
it was the books. So let's give those creators respect, and I think that's what's really lacking is
Yeah.
that respect to all these creators, whether they're big two creators or independent creators. If there's a product out there that you love, go back and purchase their books, maybe through their websites even better, because many of them have their own websites, so
Yeah.
they have their own stock of their own product.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
if you're talking about supporting indie, let's support indie or
Yeah.
let's support creators. 'Cause, I mean, we see what's going on with this current strike right now. I mean, thank goodness we've had some big players that could afford to step up and help those that are on strike right now. But this ridiculousness of greediness and this creative community needs to chill.
Yeah.
Those that are on the on the big, appreciate content creators on all levels, especially those Hollywood folks. I mean, for what's going to happen, right? In the fall season, we're going to be bored out of our minds because they're not working right now.
That is true for sure. Uh,
But it's not really though, because that's why we have Comic Crusaders podcast. We have the color of motion, so we need to step up. You know
yeah.
what I mean,
Yeah.
and bring up. It's our time to shine, folks.
It
Way
is.
far,
It
let's
is
holler.
our time to highlight those independent creators that are out there putting out some great, great work and doing some
Yes, like you.
amazing things for
I mean,
sure.
I know in the back room I was joking with you, but the platform you use, I love it. I think you put on one of the most beautiful presentations, bro. I love it. You rock, Don.
Thank you.
You're one of my
Thank you.
idols, bro. I gotta be doing like what you do, bro.
Nah, thank you. But I definitely so much learned from what you do and what other, like I said, we're other creators are do as well. It just helps me to learn different things. Like I said, I was just talking about your mobile setup you were showing me before. Just gives you so many ideas of what you can do and the things that you can kind of work on to level up your game. So kudos to you and
Thank you.
Comic Crusaders is doing. And like you said, we need more people like us to really put that spotlight on those. Because I really do feel like it's the independent creator, whether they're an independent filmmaker, whether they're
Yes,
independent comic book creator, independent writer. I think that's
musician.
where the power is going to lie, is in the independent creator.
Yes, yes. I mean, we are the future, all of
Yep.
us as a whole.
Yep.
Seriously.
Miss Page. Yep, Sears. That was another
Hello,
one too.
Paige.
Sears was
Sears, the
another
Sears
one for sure.
catalog. Oh my gosh. Wow. I mean, you
All
could tell my
right.
age. I mean, Don, at least yours is like salt and pepper. Mine is just gone salt.
Trust me, it ain't that far behind, brother. It ain't that far behind. So, for everybody just jumping in, like I said, we just got this conversation kicked off with my man Al, mega podcast host of Comic Crusaders, and we're sitting down just chopping it up about the industry, comics. Um, you just mentioned a minute ago about putting having the comic book. We're starting to, obviously, Marvel is just crushing it with the movies that they're putting out. How do you feel about how the movie because I've seen it both ways. Well, they're not following the book, verbatim
Oh
to
well,
what the thing
listen,
is, and
the movies will never follow a book. Period. Always
yeah,
think of movie as an alternate universe, and your mind will be at peace. Like me, I'm not a hater.
yeah,
But I will also say that there's an overabundance of stuff. So right now, it seems to be quantity over quality.
yeah,
All right.
yeah,
And there's just some things that are, I think that their TV universe has been slowly fading. I hope that bringing back the Netflix versions, of those particular shows, was the ones that we love, because they, for a reason. Why?
yeah,
They were gritty, they were
yeah,
street,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
it was about the character. But right now, I mean, even looking at Secret Invasion, it was ensemble cast. Every other show they do is more of an ensemble cast, not for the character. Things are missing.
yeah,
They could do better. So it's just too much. I think they need to slow it down. Give us just a few,
yeah,
not so
yeah,
many a year, just a few a year. Wet our palate, then give us a big movie. And then wet our palate a little again, tease us, give us a big movie, but
I
not this
don't.
overabundance. It's
I
just
don't
too
see
much. And
Marvel. I
this
don't
from a
see
comic
Marvel
guy.
doing that. And like I said,
Of course not. They
for
want
them,
this.
yeah, it's cash cow, baby. And
And
now
this is
with
not. But listen, this while this is maybe important to the big wigs, we see what's going on the strike. It's only the big wigs getting this, baby.
yeah, yeah,
Not the people that are working on it, not the people that are written, and not the people that are the golfers even. They
yeah,
deserve it. I mean,
yeah.
getting coffee and not tripping is a hard job. I mean, let's get real every step. And when you have a disparity
Yeah,
of owners making up to like 300 times over what somebody at the bottom is, I think that that's a problem.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and it needs to be discussed. It needs to be resolved. Because yeah, listen, yeah, brother, I know you build a business to make money. This is a capitalistic country. I get it. But you can't put it to that point, because I think that's ridiculous. Jeez. I mean, you don't need all of that. I mean, you paying for generation upon generation of colleges. You know what I mean? Chill, bro. I mean, one generation enough. Obviously, they'll be okay for the rest of the generations
it,
sharing that wealth. I
it
mean,
is
God
never enough.
willing, if something ever happens big with me, I'm gonna be an example like my homie from the Celtics. I forget his name, but when I saw he got a big contract, he really was talking about helping community. I'm like, I've never seen somebody that got a huge contract, worth over $300 million, talk about, well, you know what? I want to invest in community. He wants to bring Black Wall Street out here. He's one of the Boston Celtics players. He wants to bring
Yeah,
Black
yeah,
Wall Street to mass. He wants change that disparity, because it's too huge. And it's
yeah,
thank you for forward thinkers like that, and
yeah,
he inspires me too. And I want to be one of those. I
yeah,
mean, I know you want to be one of those.
yeah,
This is why you
yeah.
do what you do, because you put on amazing people, Don.
Yeah.
You have an amazing platform.
Well,
Thank you for doing what you do, because
appreciate that.
these are the voices that matter. These are the voices that are the future of creation. We need to
Yeah,
start supporting them from now. Right now they're seeds, so let's water them, let's encourage them so they could flourish.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm totally with you there, Al. Um, like I said, you've been doing the podcasting for a minute. You know the challenges of it.
Hmm.
What was the biggest challenge for you starting? Comic Crusaders podcasting. Like I said, we had talked about it a little bit ago before the show. You're hitting a lot of these comic conventions and things like that. What was kind of the biggest challenge for you just in starting podcasting and getting in and talking about what you're talking about?
The knowledge. It was all about the knowledge. I didn't know how. Listen, not for that. I'm just a high school graduate. A little bit, of little bit of trade school knowledge. You know what I mean? But I went the technology route, so I got a certificate
Yeah, yeah,
on computer science. That's something. So uh, technology, all that. All right, but and then I knew that. Fine. How do I create a website? I didn't know. I met somebody. Oh, this is what you do. This is how you buy a name. This is how you do this. All right, cool. I got this now, but I only got a name. Like, how do I? Like, then I bought. I was working in an educational firm at the time, right? So I got a video. Oh, how do you do HTML? So it was a DVD. I put it in the DVD, and then here on my computer learning like basic HTML. And dude, that's how you could go to the like the this is like a time travel thing, the archive, Internet
Yeah.
Archive. You could look what the first page of Comic Crusaders looked like. It was my original logo coming soon. I did that in HTML. I was so proud. Like, oh, that's the first thing I ever did. You know what I mean? So it was that learning curve,
Yeah.
and then finding somebody, because this is pre WordPress.
Yeah.
WordPress just saved my life because
Saved a
I don't
lot of
know,
people's lives.
yeah, for real. Thank God, plugins. This is I like how this template looks, drag and drop. Thank God, this coding is over. Because it is the most difficult thing to do. Kudos to you programmers that sit there, you
Oh
know,
man.
looking like Hugh Jackman, that old school movie Hackers, talking about, woo, I did this.
Oh
Nah, bro.
man.
That's how
I
I
can't
felt when I
do
did
it.
one little thing. So
I can't do it.
it was the knowledge.
I learned very quickly and very early on. I didn't like programming. I mean, I can get in and do some HTML and CSS,
Yes,
but I had this
you
one
could read
friend.
it.
Yeah, I had this one friend, and, and he just, you know how you meet those people that they just see code and they think in code and they just code. He was a coder and a programmer, and I'm like, dude, I can't sit for 2 hours trying to figure out a code that doesn't work, and I realized that I forgot a slash or something like that. It is like,
Thank
I'm
goodness
like,
for
I
AI
can't do that.
nowadays. Now with AI, you can actually put the HTML. Find any
Nah,
mistakes. Thank
yeah,
God, thank you. But back then, when we had to do the hard works, ladies and gentlemen, kids, you guys don't know.
you
You guys
don't
don't know. We
know,
had to
baby.
pop in DVDs back on our like Celeron ones. Super slow. I mean, again, I was showing people this proudly, and they were impressed. They're like, "Oh man, really? You could do that? This is how it looks in the back." And my God, I was blowing their minds. I'm like, "Oh my." I'm like, geez, but I'm happy. So it's again the learning curve. So I learned how to do the website because somebody else they did my platform. I knew how to update it. Great.
Yeah,
Once WordPress came out, no more programmers. Great.
yeah.
Then somebody came into my life that said, "Hey, why are you not doing a podcast?" I mean, what are you talking about? He goes, "Oh, this is like shows. You could talk, interview all these people. You're already doing it. Maybe you could do it with audio. It'd be
Yeah,
cooler and
yeah.
this that." I said, "Yo, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't even know how to do this." He goes, "All right, bet. I'll help you. I'll help you." So, hold me out, set up how to do things, whatever. But didn't really teach me. He set it up.
Yeah.
Mind you that, right? We worked together for a year, and then homie felt a type of way after the year. I don't know. People are weird, man.
Yeah,
Uh, you
it
know,
changed.
and
Time, you know.
yeah, yeah. So he said, "I'm not gonna take care of this no more." I said, "Oh, damn!" And like was about to close the account. I said, "Oh, crap! I gotta download all this content." So this is on a day that I had to go to New York and see my family. Wifey had to drive. I was on a laptop with my phone tethering, trying to download all the content, right? So that way I could open a new account, re-upload all the content on my stuff, and then okay, figure out then how the hell do I build a podcast? So I figure out like YouTube. YouTube College, baby. The School of Hard Knocks, baby.
YouTube University, baby.
SOHK. Listen, it is the greatest thing in the world when you could just sit down and say, listen, if I don't know how to do something, um, I'm going to figure it out. Because at the end of the day, I already saw the situation I'm in. I can't depend on anyone.
Yeah,
So from now on, I'm going to learn the jack of all trades, but the master of none. But I'm going to be able to like say and point things out. If I know I've had my website down at times, I've gone to the host and they're like, "Oh, we don't know." I'm like, "Yo, could you just do this?"
yeah,
Once they do
yeah.
that, my website is up. They're like, "How did you know?" I'm like, "I'm not telling you because I'm paying you guys. Bye." Not to be a butthead, but at the end of the day, it's like, listen, if I could figure out a problem before you do, you got a problem. You better educate your people.
Something's
Uh,
wrong. Yeah,
yeah,
something's
but again,
wrong.
that's the business. So it's the school of hard knocks. That's how I learned. It was knowledge, but once I started learning the knowledge, then I figured out as well that there's a lot of people that need help. So
Yeah,
I would get sometimes people that would DM me, "Yo, how did you do this?" And I was never a butthead about it. This
yeah,
is how I did it. And they're like,
yeah,
"Yo, why are you too willing to share the knowledge?" Because I wish I had somebody like me when
yeah.
I was doing this, just to talk to
Exactly.
someone. Period. Because listen, Tom Billieu, much
Yeah,
respect, my man from
yeah,
Impact Theory. He
yeah.
said it best to me. We went to SDCC 2019. he invited me to an after party, and in his speech he was talking about, you know what, share your knowledge, because at the end of the day, only 1% of the people will probably be listening and apply it. 1% of everybody you speak to.
Yeah.
I'm one of that 1%. Tom, don't you
Yeah.
worry. I listened. I listened hard.
Yeah.
And that's it. Give back, share your knowledge. Not everybody's really gonna listen. Some people
Nah.
give up within 3 months of
Yeah.
time. Look at you, Don. You've been doing this for a minute. Me, I've been doing this since I learned now. And that,
Yeah.
I started learning what, 2016.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, it's you share your knowledge, you learn, you get better, and you wish you had somebody that where you started at the beginning would share their knowledge, and that's why you do what you do. That's why I do what I do.
Absolutely.
Is I would have wanted somebody to be talking, somebody that looked like me, especially to be talking about what I was
Oh,
interested in,
preach,
and could take me in the right direction for sure. Mr.
preach, Don.
Andre, appreciate you, brother, for tuning in. Mr. Andre
Yo,
Rodriguez, super
see,
talented brother.
Andre, wepa, what up? Listen, Don, and there's another thing I want to tell you. In my podcasting journey, I found a community that was my actual podcast college. It's called Podfest.
Yeah,
And this is what happened when I moved to Florida. And that was the first convention I hit in Florida. It was my first podcasting. I never went to a pod. I said, hey, there's a podcasting convention. I just came to Orlando. Why not? Let me check this out.
yeah,
I feel so blessed that I met that community, because when I went there, I wrote a Bible's worth of notes of things I never knew about podcasting, on
yeah,
how to market, how to push this, what tools to use.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then, I recommend this to anyone. That is one of the greatest. That is no, 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 not one. That is the best podcast convention.
yeah.
Big shout out Chris
Podcasters,
Cremesos.
yeah,
Yo, you
podcast,
you rock.
yeah,
Podfest is amazing. Again, I've been a participant, and then I took part of the virtual, because I couldn't go because of COVID. They did a
yeah,
virtual thing that broke the Guinness Book World Record for attendees for a live event.
yeah,
And let me tell you, I cried at the end of that, honest to God, because I'm like, wow, I've never been around a group of creative people so willing to share of their knowledge
yeah,
openly. Like, here, this is all you, or like, why are you sharing with this? Like, wow, like,
yeah.
if we could only have this in life growing up, I think we all would be kings and queens.
Oh man,
For
yeah,
real.
yeah,
And I mean, that was one of the most beautiful communities that I'm grateful to be a part of. They inspired me greatly. Then I would partake in their contests. They blessed me with wonderful headsets and mics and all that I would win, because that's how much I was partaking, sharing my knowledge that they taught me. Like, you know what? I was brother Al then. Whereby, you know what I mean? Preaching, preaching. Let's go, because we all could do it, people. I mean,
and,
don't we have no limits? None of
and
us
like
do.
you said, when you get around a community of people that are creatives, that, like I said again, look like you, just share your passion, man, it just fuels you. Like I said, this is, and people ask me all the time, about this show, and I say, I love doing this show because I meet so many creators of
Yeah.
color that are just I never would have came across,
Yes.
never would have made for Andre, never would have made friends with them because it blows my mind. And then when you hear their stories of how they got into it and just their journey, it
Yeah.
inspires you. So that's why you want to
It's beautiful.
share that and pass it along, because somebody else needs to hear that very same thing for sure, to inspire
Absolutely.
them. Mr. Ken, as always, brother, I appreciate you tuning in and
What
showing
up,
up.
Ken?
Today's conversation is he always has these interesting words,
He sound
delectable,
like Stan Lee. That's what he's sounding like. Hey, I love it. He doing that Stan Lee joint.
scrumptious, deliciously, edibly tasty. I
I
love
see what he doing. He doing that Stan Lee joint. I love it, yo.
I love Ken. Ken is a avid viewer. I appreciate
Oh my
Ken.
God! You know what? If I do a comic book, I need him to do the intro. That'd be great.
You heard that from here, Ken. You heard that from here.
Yeah, yo,
Mr.
for real.
Mr. Andre, word up for sure. Like I said, Andre is another one of those great brothers that, like I said, when I met Andre, and then got to talking with him and learned about his story and stuff, I was like, wow, got to get him on. It's just, I love being around creative people like that because they help to inspire me and fuel me,
Yeah.
for sure.
But
And
isn't it amazing to when you're a creator, right? And you're not actually in the best spot yourself, but you still find energy to want to help and inspire others, right? Yeah, yeah, I may not be in the best energy right now, but
yeah,
somehow, some way, God is good, man. Let me tell you that,
yeah.
feeling you with good energy and getting it done is amazing.
And that's why you have to surround yourself and be in a community because you're not always
Yes.
going to be at that level. But if you have somebody that is in the community, understands the creator, they're going to give you some of their energy that helps keep you afloat and helps raise you up, for sure. So that's why I have to surround myself around creative people. Otherwise, I'd go to the
Yeah.
wayside. I really would.
Bro, a big shout out to my brother Clep CX, critics. We opened up a studio together in Putnam, Connecticut, CXCC Studios.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
I'm helping him do his live show there. I'm going to be doing my live show from there soon enough. When I build up my backdrop. But here is two POC creators, if you will, in Connecticut. Having not a studio that's actually a content creation studio.
Yeah.
This is different than a regular studio. This is content creation. I can't wait till you come down. Don't we got your back? Let's go.
Definitely, like I said, you already know, baby. When I'm ready to get on the road, I'm headed that way for sure.
Yeah,
So
you
do
you
some
got
stuff
Hotel
together.
Mega here ready for you, but don't you worry.
Everybody that's just jumping on again, we're having an amazing conversation with my man and my brother Al Mega, Comic Crusaders podcast. Um, do you feel like, and we kind of alluded to, now is such a great thing, to be a content creator, in this time that we live now, and we kind of alluded to it before earlier. We didn't have all the stuff that is available to creators
I
now. I
wish.
mean, what do
I
you
wish.
think about this time that we're living in? AI is exploding.
Ugh,
You hear
I love
people on
AI.
one side or the other, but it's still. I mean, I'm an old school person, but I love technology, and I
Okay.
love how technology just moves at the pace it does and the things that you're able to do with it. What are your thoughts on just this time that we're living in? YouTube University, software that's free that you can basically do a movie with. You got AI, you got all this stuff. You got YouTube, you got Instagram, you got all these channels now we didn't have before. What are your thoughts about this time as a creative?
Don, it's our time. There's only going to be two people in this world: those that don't know and those that do. Bottom line. Start learning. AI is the future. I mean, I am not. Let me say it here. I haven't said this anywhere. I'll say it here. I do not believe in AI for copyright infringement. No, don't be in the style of anyone, whether it's music, art, film, whatever it is. I am not with that. However, AI as a entrepreneur, as a content creator, is an amazingly powerful tool. There are a plethora of tools out there where you could actually put your original energy into and create something original, organic that is not infringing on anyone. There are tools there to make this easier for you. I mean, for example, I found a tool, you know, that as a podcaster I could upload my video. It'll do the show notes for me, timestamps and all. As a content creator, those are the shortcuts I'm looking for in life sometimes, so I could create more content. That administrative task is a burden. So using these tools is where our power will lie. And the better we are at using these tools is where our strength will really come from.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we got to use it is what we, as we spoke of, a tool to be used. So again, yes, there are those ethical chats, and again, and I understand that, and I'm with those. But just as a content creator, wow, we're living in an era that's amazing. I mean, if I was able to record our shenanigans back in '93 on this level, '94, '95, New York, oh my God, we would have been the original jackasses. You know what I mean? Not for nothing. I mean, we were dumb, good, but again, but I'm also happy we didn't, because
yeah.
again, I feel that I and amongst maybe my brother's age, because he was born in '84, was amongst that last generation of kids that lived outside before technology.
Yeah, yeah,
My
yeah.
daughter's age, she didn't really hang out. It was home in the building with the neighbors on their effing phones, while they're sitting next to each other. I'm like, can you please look at each other and talk?
I'm
What's wrong with
telling
y'all?
you. Oh
What is it?
man.
Yeah,
It-
you know what? And they used to make fun of that in movies back in the day when cell phones came out. Remember when homies were chilling and then somebody would call, but your homies next, you pick up the phone, like, you ready to go? Yeah, let's go. And I'm like, but what are you doing? You could just,
oh
but this is
man.
what the community has come into. Kids, stop being lazy, yo. Drop the internet sometimes, except this show in mine, because you got to
Yeah.
watch these.
And
But
Comic
but
Crusaders,
but yeah, but watch these shows. But after you do that, go outside like the old school where we used to do. I used to love my Saturdays. Watch Kung Fu Theater at 3 o'clock, and then at 5 o'clock we're outside practicing the moves like jackasses. This is what I mean. If we had our cameras back then, we'd be in trouble, boy. Woo!
Oh man,
Where
I'm
fam?
telling you, I am telling you. And like I said, I'm an old school person, but I love technology. But
Me too. Love it.
while it's a great thing, I feel like while it connects us, it disconnects us in a lot of ways. Where we're like you said, I don't. You could be in a mall, a shop, or anything, and probably half the people are looking down at their phone
Yeah.
as opposed to conversating and
Well.
having these
See,
conversations.
don't let me be governor, because I'll be putting signals interrupting your phones. Like if you're in a restaurant, you're here to eat, not look at your phone. Your phone is not gonna work in my restaurant. You know what? If I open a comic shop, I'm gonna do the same thing. Your phone is not gonna work in here. You're not taking pictures of my covers unless you're outside the door and you pay for it, because you're here to look and enjoy the view. Get off the
Oh
phone
man,
sometimes. Listen, people sometimes ask me, because honestly, a lot of the time I don't take pictures of things when I'm at places,
yeah,
or certain things I don't take pictures of, or if I do, I don't share that. Oh, why don't you share that? Because you know what? Not everything's meant to be shared. Sometimes I want to have something for me.
yeah, yeah,
You feel me?
yeah,
And I personally don't want to put myself too much. Comic Crew is one thing. I'm mega. I'm gonna share what I share, and
yeah,
I'm gonna start being more open. I can't, like I said, I was talking about idea about it after our show coming soon. I got
yeah,
great
yeah,
people to have some real adult talk. Because again, we need that too. We need to have open conversations sometimes about things that are going on in the world,
yeah,
especially in the comic community. Or the creative community as a general. Again, we have strikes. We have things that are wild that we see on TV, like we wouldn't have seen 20 years ago. Like, why is that even present? Why is it
yeah,
necessary? This, that, the other. A lot of things to talk about.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, this
And
is what
like
I'm
you,
saying. Comic Crusaders evolved big time from what we were missing out. It's all indie stuff, but also varied stuff of indie. Because
yeah,
again,
yeah,
indie for me is where the future really does lie.
yeah, and that's the that's the nature of anything. It's gonna evolve. Like I tell people, and a lot of people say, "Man, your show looks really sharp. Your
I
production." I
love
say,
it.
"You need to go look at the first episode. You need to go check out the first episode. You'll see the progression. You evolve. You get better.
Yeah,
Things
yeah.
get
It's
better
called
and stuff."
starting dirty, Don. My man Chris Gramisso said it. You got to start dirty. It is what it is. If you got to start with a cell phone and your headset mic from the cell phone, listen, starting is starting. If you
Yeah,
feel you have a message to share, right?
yeah, yeah,
If you have an
yeah,
idea,
yeah,
listen, you could get hosting for your podcast for less than $5 a month. That's even less than going Twitter Blue. I mean, or X Blue, whatever it is now.
yeah,
You understand me? So that you could really start a journey for less than $5 a month. You probably spend more on coffee in 3 days than you would for the podcast. So don't give me no excuse. No coffee for 3 days. Pay for your podcast for $5 a month, and you could put up at least 4 to 5 podcasts, depending on the length of time a month.
yeah,
Don't give me this is what I hate about the world. Sometimes they have excuses of why they can't do. Listen, there are platforms available for you at such a low cost. There are even
yeah.
some podcast platforms that are free.
Free,
Like
free.
like
Yeah,
don't give me the thing that I don't know how. Listen, we
yeah.
have Google, we have YouTube. You can start. That has been my college. Like I said, I should
Hey.
get a T-star Google graduate or some shit. You know what I mean?
Like I said, I don't think there obviously there's not a person on the planet. Google's a verb now. It's not a noun, it's a verb.
Oh yeah, yeah. What a life.
Everybody Googles something.
Did
So
you
I mean,
Google it?
it's
Oh yeah,
no excuse.
yeah. You gotta hear my mama talking about, hey, goo goo. I'm like, oh, you sound like the lady I heard. Like, wow.
Oh
And then
man.
Alexa, all in Spanish. This is hilarious.
Oh man, but like I said, it's such an I say it's such an amazing time to be a
It is,
creator because
it
it's
is,
just
bro.
so much stuff out there.
Dude,
Um,
I got a transforming Optimus Prime from RoboSen. I mean, Optimus Prime AI. I'd be like, yo, Optimus, transform, and my man transforms before my eyes. I mean, if I had this toy as a kid back in '84, oh my God, I would have dominated the hood. You know what I mean?
oh man, my GI Joe looks archaic now compared to some of this.
Yo,
It's
you
a
know what I'm
collector's
saying, right?
item.
Bendito, yo, those are Barbies, Don. You know what I mean? I get it. I get it. Listen, we gave a kid a plush doll,
Uh-huh.
like maybe 6 years ago, and the kid looks at it and says, "What does it do?" I said, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Wow, it's a plush doll, kiddo. You sleep with it at night. What do you mean what it does?"
It's got to do something. Like I said, they're coming out of the womb knowing how to use an iPad and an
Oh,
iPhone,
for
so
real,
it's
yo. It's
got
like,
to
yo,
do
where's
something
Google
now.
at? They come out saying Google first.
Google. They ain't
You know
saying
what I mean?
Gaga. They ain't saying Gaga. They're saying Google.
Oh man, don't let Lady Gaga hear that they say Gaga first. That'll be also copyrighted. Yeah, you gotta pay her. I mean, yeah, with capitalism going run amok nowadays, who knows, bro?
Oh man, now you've been like I said, like I mentioned before, you've been hitting a lot of the Comic Cons and hitting the
Love
circuit.
them.
Are you starting to see? And I haven't. And correct me if I'm wrong. Seen a lot of Latino comics and well, I have seen a lot of Latino creators, but now starting to see a lot of
Well, we have our month,
Latino.
Don.
Yeah,
We have our month, and when our month comes, for those 30 days, they give us a focus. To be honest, other than that, there's really no focus on us. It's just as is regular. Just like Black History Month, they do a heavy focus and emphasis on black comics
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
characters, and then rest of the year is it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Back to normal.
It needs to be done. This celebrate every day, Earth Day, period. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
what's the problem? I mean, comics are comics, characters are characters. Celebrate characters not because of their color, but because of the awesomeness of the character. How about
yeah,
that?
yeah,
How
yeah.
difficult is that? I mean, I have the first appearance of the first Puerto Rican character in Marvel, and that shit didn't happen to the '70s. Okay,
Which
and it
character
was
was that?
based, and the character is White Tiger, which was based on George Perez. When he rest in peace, which passed recently because he was a Puerto Rock with an afro. Then if you see him if you see him in his last pictures, obviously he was bald headed, like he had an afro. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, I mean, but I got that first appearance and his first color appearance because that meant something to me. But are there many Latino characters in comics? No, they aren't. You know what I mean, DC's doing the first Latino lead superhero movie now, Blue Beetle.
yeah.
I
Blue
mean,
Beetle. Yeah,
and
yeah,
that character it will also come out to up to Brave New World. Folks, that was a storyline within DC. That was also in the 2000s. I mean, wow. So we
yeah,
didn't have that type of heavy lead character until then.
yeah.
It's crazy. You know what I mean? I mean,
Well,
even for example, like like most people are so mistaken when the first female black character in Marvel was not Storm. She's the
yeah,
most popular, but it was actually Misty Knight. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And they don't show her the love that she deserves as the first. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
like like they do with Luke, because Luke gets love.
yeah, yeah. They haven't done them right in the
Oh no,
movies
they
or
have.
anything,
I mean, the
but
TV series was the first season was cool. I love the
yeah,
first season. I think that he was a good actor for it, but they definitely need to improve. The same thing with Black Lightning. That was
yeah,
DC's first black character. That also didn't happen to the '70s, mind
yeah,
you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And then they didn't have a first Puerto Rican character until the '80s, and that happened to be Vibe. Yeah, give me a breakdancing Puerto Rican. Yeah, that's exactly what I need as my superhero. You can't give me somebody better than this. You gotta give me a breakdancing homie. Damn, bro, that's his origin. He was a breakdancer. Come on. I'm loving it, hip hop related and all, but at the same time, like, damn, really, really,
yeah.
couldn't that be more?
Which is why I'm excited about, and I said meant when I said I think the big change is going to come from independent creators creating their own stories and their
A
own
hundred.
ideas
Have you
because you're
seen
start.
Terminus Vale from Jack Harris, Don?
Yeah, yeah,
Terminus Vale, I mean, yo, he's a smart creator. I mean, not for nothing, but even Eric July is killing the game. What I show him, I mean, he has a $1 million Kickstarter, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
As
and
a PLC creator, because he came from a different industry, and he knew how to work the game.
yeah, yeah, and actually, like I was just telling you, and he'll be on the show in January. But Kevin Graveau, he's getting ready to kickstart his comic book graphic novel that he created. So you got a lot of.
Oof.
That's why I'm excited. That's why I love this time because you're seeing a lot of people, even the
Yes,
ones like I said that are working at these studios like Marvel, DC, Pixar, and all of that. They're all still working on their own stuff and their own projects because they know they've got the control of telling their own story in their own way, and just loving it. And now you're starting to, again, of course, the studios, the big studios, their thing is dollars, but they're doing the same thing. They're craving new content. They're craving new
yeah.
ideas and new stories and new creatives. Um, for you, on this journey that you've been on, what's been kind of the best piece of advice that somebody's given you along the way that's kind of really stuck with you and kind of served you really well?
Integrity. Keep the integrity. Keep the integrity. Whatever it is, whatever your reviewers submit, whatever their opinion is, stand by the opinion. Because again, we are also a press site, right? And we review things and we say things. We have columns. So, stand by your words. You know, keep
Yeah,
that integrity. Don't let, because not for nothing, but there have been creators out there that have had the gall to come back to us and say, "Oh, can you change this?" No, why? You asked us for an honest opinion, and secondly, I made that clear. That's why we're giving you.
yeah, yeah,
So you can't come back to us and be like, "Oh, change it, change this, that." No, why?
yeah, yeah,
Some come off even, "Oh, we gave you something." What? This is payola? I'm not from Master Flex. You know what I mean? What are you
yeah,
talking about? I don't play that game, son. I
yeah.
mean, no, no. I mean, per se, what is it? What's the word that Wendy Williams used? Oh man, the
Ah,
former
yeah,
Master
yeah,
Flex took payola, but it's just the rumor. I don't know if it's true, but if that's the case, that's why I said that, because we don't do payola. We don't do that. Don't think that you gave us your book and that we're just gonna give you a good review because you gave us something.
yeah, yeah.
There is a level of integrity that needs to be kept. So don't challenge that.
Yeah, be true.
And so when somebody told me be true, keep being true to yourself and to the brand, and that's the mission. Keep true to ourselves, the brand, the mission. Because again, we're here to empower. We're here to be constructive. We're not here to destroy at all.
Yeah,
And because a lot of people just sometimes they're doing something awesome, they need to hear it, and sometimes as just educated readers, because between our team, if you look at our ages, collectively, it's like over 200 years. Jesus Christ, that's a big number. Well, but 200 years of collective experience, of comic books
yeah,
and pop culture, saturation, and taking this stuff in, and being able to view it, as fans.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
I'm proud of my team, like Johnny, Bud, Dark, Chitlins, the
goodness.
Antonio, one of my newest one from PR, yes, a reggaeton artist, mind you. What I mean? I have talented people. I have people that are, musicians, music writers, financial people, educators. I'm lucky, man. Comic Crusaders has been blessed.
Awesome,
For real.
awesome.
And these are independent creators that have also created their own brands. Nemesis has his own publishing label. I had my homie Paul Hayden. He created a label after us. ASAP Imagination. When he got inspired,
Yeah,
he goes, "Damn, Al, I see what you doing, and you inspired me." Things like that. I feel like a proud papa bear. I'm one of the most proudest men in this industry, I think, because I think that I've had a lot of people that have come out from my team that have had the journey inspired by me, and to take it,
yeah,
by the cojones, if you will, and like,
yeah,
I'm gonna do it too, Al. I'm like, yeah, go for it, because the only one that's stopping you is you.
yeah, yeah. And you know how I do it, people. When guests drop knowledges bombs like that, I have to put a bomb on it for sure. But no, great advice. And it's like you just said. You have to be true to who you are
Always.
and just stay the course. Just stay the course. There's always going to be people that do it for the money and
Oh, I've
you
no
know
listen. I've had people come
sell
at
out.
me. I've had arguments. I've had arguments on the social media, and during the worst times of my life. Like, wow, you messing with me when I'm going through something you guys don't even know what I'm going through.
Yeah, yeah,
But I still handle it with class. But although there have been people as well that even tried to attack my team members, and because I come out and I ask, well, you know, instead of doing this publicly, why can't you DM me your thoughts?
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Because they just want attention. There's people that do that, and when I call them out on it, all of a sudden I'm the bad guy.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
No, I'm not the bad guy. If you're gonna talk about my team, then be grown ups. DM me instead. Let's have a chat if you
yeah,
felt the type of way. But if you're gonna put it publicly, of course I'm gonna be defensive too. I'm gonna be like, what's the problem? And if you can't answer me, I mean, you answer me dumb. I mean, you just please remember, I'm a Puerto Rican that grew up in New York. And I'm a '90s type of person, so maybe my responses are not going to be very modern because it just
yeah,
is what it is. And no, I'm not trying to scare no one, but I'm just saying that there needs to be a level of respect as well when we
yeah,
do this. Because
yeah,
as content creators, like if you want to discuss things, let's discuss things. Sometimes we don't need to do things publicly because what's the point?
yeah,
Well, you're trying to get
yeah,
attention. I hate that. Don't do
yeah,
that. I would never do that to anyone.
yeah. A
Period.
lot of people do that, and that's unfortunately, like I said, as much as you may like social media, that's kind of the downside
Yeah.
of just people
Yeah. But
hiding behind the screen. They could say they feel like they got the liberty to say whatever they want,
yes.
just out in the open, regardless. It's like,
And the secret, Don, there's a secret to this. I see people leaving certain social media platforms. Oh, the negativity. You know what it is, my people? Listen and be carefully here. Do not click on negative comments. All right? That's it. Do not. All right, let me repeat this. If you want to have a beautiful social media experience on any platform, do not click on the negative comments. Do not respond to negative comments. All right? Only show love to things that you're really interested in. Only respond to things that you like. And I promise you, within a few days, your algorithm is going to be full of things that only you enjoy. So when you say you're gonna leave a social platform, that's your own fault sometimes by looking at things you shouldn't be looking at. So please stop it, folks. For real.
yeah,
Make your experience good.
yeah.
It's-
If you haven't figured that out by now, the algorithm is gonna feed you whatever it is that you're watching, the
yeah.
content
Yeah.
you're
I mean,
watching.
sometimes it needs to be said. People just don't understand it. Like people are like, yo, X has changed. No, it hasn't. X Twitter is still the same. You just clicking on stuff you shouldn't be clicking on. That's all it is. Stop it. Stop it. Give yourself peace of mind. You know what? How about take a step back, maybe take on those illegal shenanigans that are allowed nowadays in certain states, and maybe and take a chill pill, and you'll be good. Okay.
or just take a technical hiatus, a short hiatus, which they say you should just take
I did. I did it
a
for a month,
hiatus
Don.
from social media or hiatus from technology for a little bit. Your phone, you have to just to kind of keep your sanity because, like I said, just of the nature of the world we live in, especially in this country, it's just negativity, negativity, negativity that just gets fed, 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 and it's easy to get depressed or angry or this and that because that's all that's pretty much is fed to us daily. So you really have to be conscious about the information that you're ingesting.
Let me
Mister,
tell you exactly. You got to keep your peace of mind, folks. Stay away from the negative.
for sure.
Honest, good opinion right there, for real. And this is some dad talk. I'm your papi right now, and papi says, they're high, so okay.
Mr. Ken, yes, oh my God, we are, me and Al are, yes, we are vibing for sure. Like I said, I'm just trying to keep up with Al. He's a high energy guy, so I'm just trying my best to hang on, but we're having some
Yeah, I'm
fun.
big wepa, baby. Let's go. I'm New York, Brooklyn in the house, baby. You don't know. I love it.
It's a Brooklyn, New York vibe because I don't know if you listen. I like listening to her, Nikki from Nikki and
Nikki.
Moose. Um,
Okay. Put me
She's
on. Really? She got that New York tour? Don't tell me.
she's a straight Brooklyner. She's a straight
Hey,
Brooklyn girl. She has that action, but she just
I love it.
it's just a vibe. It's a New York vibe for sure. It's the
Oh yeah, yeah.
Andre. Oh damn! Shots to flex, for
Hey,
sure.
yeah. I mean, but you know the history, Andre. If you were around, all the stories, especially as I grew up in New York, and I was around, the hip hop circles and some people that were in the production world, and I was hearing stuff. I'm like, wow, that's foul. That's kind of shady, for
Yeah,
real. I mean, if that's what it is, again, you know what I mean?
for sure. This well, I don't know if this Hades. Hecton.
Oh, Hades.
I am proud of you both, Alex and Don. You both promote indie and allow creators the space to be known. That's what we do. That's what we love doing for sure.
Yo, Indy.
And highlighting that. Um, where where now, like I said, you're doing a lot of things with Comic Crusaders. You're building it. Where's your end goal? Have you thought about where you're wanting Comic Crusaders? Um, to where you wanting to take Comic
But we
Crusaders?
want to go be the go-to spot. So I'm still looking for even writers, to come in. I want to take more of an editorial scene. I want to become, also a good actual editorial journalistic spot for information. I've been, a lot of press releases, original reviews, original content. But I would like some more columns. Some, I want to go that route. Let's get into the industry talk. Let's talk about the fairness, or unfairness in industry. Let's talk about helping creators more. Let's bring out more conversations. That's what I want to do. Not just to the Comic Crusaders website via written content, but also to the podcast. And I have a family of podcasts. This Comic Crusaders podcast. That's me. But I have Comic Crusader specials, which I allow the team to host. I have the channel Undercover Capes, which are where I've allowed my OG people, a space, or rather a website for them to flourish,
Yeah,
because I think that you also have to bless your team, right? So with Undercover Capes, basically I made that website as an avenue in a lane. Like, if you've been with me X amount of time and you want to have a podcast voice, I'll host your stuff.
yeah,
No extra anything to you, just because I believe in you, and if you have a voice, I'm gonna support that voice, and I could support it through Undercover Capes. And if it's something that you brought as creator owned, guess what? If this is something you feel you want to take away from us because one day you feel you too big, I ain't no hate on you, no
yeah,
even percentage. Take it with you. I want you to flourish.
yeah,
Anyone
yeah,
that's been and on my team, like I said, I've had people, form, create publishing presses out of Comic Crew, saying that they were inspired through. I feel proud. So, folks,
yeah,
again, there are no limits to your creativity. Please, please don't ever think that
yeah,
you can't do something. All the tools are out there, and don't be afraid of the AI. Don't listen to that talk, because all the talk is about art, taking art, or taking things in the style of using that horrible prompt. Don't ever use that prompt in the style of. Always create something yourself, and again, know how to use it. Again,
yeah,
tools, folks.
yeah,
Tools, folks. It's here for us to flourish.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think that us people of color, we have a hell of a brains in our heads that, if we would just take a moment to apply ourselves to this technology and not pay attention to some other nonsense out there,
yeah.
I think that we could hit some levels that the world is not even ready for.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Like I said, we're naturally creative people. When we get
We
into,
all are. I'm
yeah,
blessed.
when we get into something, especially people of color, like when we get into something that hasn't normally been the avenue, we come in with a flair, and it's just we
Oh
lead the
yeah, we
way.
coming sexy, bro.
We come
Look at
in with
Mega. Look at Mega with the hat.
that
He got the
dog.
shirt. He
I'm
got
telling
even the
you, boy.
tat, baby. You know what I
You,
mean? I got it all, but I'm in there. It's about flair. It's about style. It's about branding, baby. We bring in song. That's what we do.
and the world follows us. I mean, that's we not being arrogant. It's just the way we are. Like I said,
Yeah,
I
it's
love
not
tennis.
arrogant. It's like we love it. We love it.
I love tennis. I always watch tennis, but you have to admit when Serena and Venus came into the game, although there was Arthur Ashe and people before them, and Arthur Ashe played just differently. He just came in with the flair. it's
The
whatever
flair.
we
They get.
do. We have
I call it
flair.
that huepas. Them ladies came in with huepa. Hey.
Way pop boy. And they had to take notice, baby. Had to take notice, for sure.
I
Um,
mean, I wouldn't mess with them because they look like they could just pick me up by the neck like Andre the Giant and slam me. I'm scared of them.
especially, especially Serena has
I'm
some
scared. Oh,
guns
yeah,
on her,
she
boy.
muscular, man. I mean, no, no, no,
Serena's muscular,
bendito.
boy.
Back in the day, maybe when I was in my 30s, but now, bendito, no, bro.
Oh man, what are some of the, like I said, we talked about, AI, being the big thing, but what are some of the other pop trends that you're seeing starting to, pop up
Well,
and be really
as
popular
always,
around the.
is doing them shorts, do them reviews, folks. Share the love, share the love of whatever it is that you love. You know what I mean? And do it with some flair. It's okay. I mean, pop off. There's wonderful apps on your phone and the Play stores that you could use nowadays. I mean, the world is at your hands. This little tool right here that we have been blessed with. I mean, more technology than a spaceship. But again, it comes to question: did we ever even go to the moon? Who knows? But I'm even questioning nowadays. Like, yo, you for real? Who was holding the camera? Jeez. Anyway, questions to be asked. But listen, we have a world of technology in front of us. There's no more excuse. Use everything you got at your disposal, mi
Yeah.
gente. We are so blessed. Like, I really wish I had this in the '90s when I had this in black. It would have been wonderful. You know what I mean? Like, you guys would have seen Mega with a mohawk and black hair. You guys would have been who that man. Uh, yeah, yo, I would have been rocking out with this tech back then. But again, it's here now, and I'm a forward thinker. Like, I'm one of maybe two of my friends out of our circle
Yeah.
that looks forward in life. I got homies still stuck in the '90s. You know what I mean? They won't stop wearing their cross colors and canines. You know what I mean?
They
You know
still
what I mean?
making cross colors.
You guys, bro. I hope you're washing them. Um, but I'm a forward thinker. I like, I love my music from then. I like my stuff from now too,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
going forward. So don't be stuck in the past. Like, keep learning as a new tool comes. And listen, just even as a brand owner, if a new tool comes and you have a brand, secure your name immediately.
Yeah.
Don't be a fool. Guess
Yeah.
what? Get your website immediately. Even if you don't use it, who cares? You know what it costs to buy a website name? $20, $25 a year. I
Yeah.
mean, what's that a year to possibly have a fortune in your hands? The homie that bought Kanye for President.com, for example, when Kanye thought that crazy wacky scheme that he was going to run, homie got paid over $100,000 for that website. What he
Yeah.
probably wound up paying for it with his lifetime, less than $100.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You
you
know,
had a lot
so
of people, like I said, you had a lot of people that was doing that. Like when the internet really popped off
oh
and
my God, oh,
your website,
Don,
people were just buying names left and
oh yeah,
right just to have
yeah,
names because they knew
Don,
somebody was going to pay
lesson.
for it.
I have a lesson there too. So I had bought a name for a company. Yeah, I like, oh, this is available. Let me see if I could do that, bro. I almost got sued. I had to release the name immediately because I was like, oh shit, I can't fight these guys.
Well,
I
do
said,
your
so you know
homework
what?
for
Sometimes it
sure.
works against you.
Yeah, do your homework for sure to see if it's
Lesson,
available,
man.
whether you should or shouldn't do it. But
Yeah, but if it was
definitely,
available, at least pay me back for the website name that I purchased. They didn't give me that. Like, damn, you're giving my $10 back, huh?
oh man, this Hades, yeah, technology. The technology is out there. Like I said, it's getting even more and more advanced. So if
It's
you don't,
advanced, but again, use it right, folks.
yeah,
Don't
yeah,
don't do copyright infringement. There are prompts. I could teach you a real quick one. Introduce yourself. That's all you gotta do to your AI because it's tied into your email. I am so and so. I do this, that, the other. You know, give me a plan to maybe create this, that, the other,
yeah,
in those words. But introduce yourself the first 10 times at least, so the AI can recognize you, and then it'll start knowing what you want. It's
yeah,
weird, but again, use it in a sense for business. Don't use it for copyright infringement because again, as the person that supports comic book writers and creators, yeah, that there's been some shady stuff. I've seen AI comics come out in styles of others, and I think that's shady, man.
yeah, yeah,
And Kickstarter just put something into place where they're going. You have to be clear if it was AI,
Yeah.
and if incorrect credits are given, your project is not going to be listed.
That's
So I
it.
think that that's some forward movement in creator rights, if you
Yeah.
will, in regard to AI on a platform. That's
Yeah.
important. I think every other crowdfunding platform needs to look at that as something, uh, that's key. Because
Yeah.
again, if
Putting
something's
stuff
created
in
by AI,
place.
I don't want us to come up with a comic book, hey, written by Don, drawn by Al, but I can't draw for crap, and I don't think you can write a comic book right now. And we did, and we create a comic book show. I mean, we can't be dishonest. So,
Yeah.
hopefully
No,
they
you
do
got a
it.
lot of people, and we talked about this before the episode. Like I said, it is at the end of the day just a tool, and like
Yeah.
any other tool out there, there are always going to be people that use it the wrong way. There are always going to be people that use it the right
You
way.
got your villains.
You
I mean,
know,
please don't look at my sales, folks. I know I got villains all over the place, but that's not my character. I just like the villains. Don't worry about it.
villains make the best. They have usually the best backstory. You know,
Yes, they
it's like,
do. I
but you gotta
connect with
love
them. I
it.
can't help it. I can't help
You gotta
it.
love it. You gotta love it. Mr. Ken. Yeah, we will. He will. I'll be showing his link.
Almega. You gotta look at me as Almega, Ken. Almega.
Almega there. But we will be putting up his contact info where you can connect with him for sure. Mr. Dewan, appreciate you tuning in there, sir. Greetings to you. Like I said, for everybody just jumping in, we've been having a fun and amazing conversation with my man Al Mega from Comic Crusaders, podcast host extraordinaire. I can't wait to get on the show myself, on his show myself.
Oh, we're gonna have some
Um,
fun now. You better get ready. You have
yeah,
no
I might
idea
I
what
might
you're in
wait till
for.
you get the after hours thing. Get people.
Oh, you know what? I would love for you to be one of my first one. Hell yeah, that'll be some fun. Hey, woo! It's gonna be
Oh
dangerous, folks. It's
man.
gonna be spicy, caliente. I'm gonna put not just sazon, but some pique on that. You feel me? It's gonna be hot.
Oh, and
Love it.
Bouncy, y'all can see why I love doing this show. I just meet so many amazing people and have such a great time. I tell everybody, I don't have guests on, I have my friends on. So me and Al, when
Oh,
we
for
first
real, bro.
connected, we knew we were friends and just
Yeah, high five,
love
my
having
brother.
him on.
Virtual. Woo!
Yeah, baby. So looking forward to coming up to Connecticut and being on Comic Crusaders for sure. Um, did you get out to? You didn't get out to San Diego Comic Con, did you? Or have you been to?
Not this year, but I did have a rep out there, and he told me, at least from the press perspective, that from the press perspective, it was one of the most amazing years for press because of the strike and all.
Yeah.
We had incredible access to the stars, the celebrities. They had time to talk because we
Mm,
couldn't talk about projects, um, but they had time to talk. So it was intimate chats.
yeah.
So which is kind of cool. We had a great time, and he said the show, going back to its roots, comic centric,
Yeah,
kind
that's
of,
what I heard
you know,
too.
yeah, so the real celebrities, the comic creators, again,
Yeah.
those uncelebrated
Yeah.
creators,
Yeah.
because again, we love all these Marvel movies, we love all these DC movies, folks, but again, you guys are so wrong and not understanding where the roots lie.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand that, shame on you. Please read these books and understand. Like sometimes I know you see, look at these old fogies complaining about these movies. It's not that we're being old fogies, or being picky, but we grew up reading the books, and when we see major changes, we're like, wait a minute, and we don't mean to do that. But I'm different. I've learned to come to understand and view it. This is a different universe. It's the multiverse. This is not 616, which is where our stories are based. This is other stuff. This is Planet Dawn, and this is where all the madness is going on. That's it. All right. So that's where
Oh,
Marvel's at. And
hey.
and again, that's how you could enjoy anything that's comics. Just get over the comics,
Yeah.
but appreciate the comics because again, that's where the history lies. And
Yeah.
believe me, they do it better than the movies.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
hundred.
Yeah, for sure. And but I will say, like I said, which is what I loved about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It just looked like you were watching a comic book the way
A
they
motion
did
comic.
Yeah, a motion comic. It was just so well done. What did you think about, how they did the first one and the second one?
Yeah, a beautiful movie. Seeing a diversity of characters, diverse
Yeah,
characters. Within the Spider-Man mythos. I thought it was awesome. Like, it's nice to see that we're not gonna get a white Peter Parker and every darn version of the multiverse. Like, no, we're gonna get a different version or a different version of Spider Woman or whatever
yeah,
going
punk
on.
rock,
And I
Spider
dig that.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh
was
yeah,
just,
my brother, he's all about punk rock Spider-Man. He's a musician and a rock musician. So you
I
got to
know
see,
he
he already
loved
got
it.
the cosplay rock. Oh, and he's as skinny as him too. It's just funny. He's already rocking it, killing it in the cons with it. He's punk. He's the Puerto Rican punk rock though. You know what I mean? He doesn't have
Oh
he doesn't
man.
have the hair. He has the mohawk. You know what I mean? Uh,
Oh
but yeah,
man.
I think that's what's awesome. This is the awesome part of comics, right? Because we could find versions of the characters we love, that are not necessarily the version we see,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And it's great to see. Oh wow, yeah. Well, look at Miles. I would love to have him to have his own name. I would love for all of them to have their own name, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it's wonderful to see, especially the style, the way the kids are picking up into it. And guess what? It does affect comic sales. So those particular characters, people are buying those books, they're looking into the books and
Yeah.
showing love to the creator. So anything that winds up flowing back to the original creation, I'm happy with.
Yeah.
So I think that that's where Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse performs
Yeah.
so well. But it takes people because of that look into the books.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I think it takes you back to the original content. It's like, oh, okay, this movie was great. Let me go and get some
Yeah.
comic books or start researching. It really feeds
Like
back
who this?
into.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it was like, oh, okay, all right. Let me learn a little more about this. So, like I said, I'm just a big fan of the independent creator, and that's why, like I said, I'm just um, part of this show. The big thing about this show, your show, is we really highlight those gems that are out there that you just
Mhm.
wouldn't normally find or see, or they wouldn't have the opportunity to get on a platform and really showcase what they're doing and talk about what they're doing. So, like I said, have mad respect for UL and what
Thank
Comic
you.
Crusaders is doing. Like I said, we just vibed as soon as we connected. You meet those certain ones that you just hit it off with right off the bat, and Al was like that, and as everybody can see, you see Al's high energy personality, New York personality. You just gotta love for sure.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that, brother. And it's likewise, man. I can't wait to have you on the show because I'm gonna give you even more wet by there. It's gonna be a wrap, son.
Oh
But I
shoot,
appreciate you because again, this is what's important. We are the voice, of the independent community. Because and again, independent community, independent creators. I hear so much. Oh, it's so hard to get press. Are you really trying? Have you guys looked up podcasts? You don't need an agent for that. I mean, hit
no,
me up, hit Don up. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Simple enough. We'll send you a calendar link or whatever it is, make an appointment, and you're set. And you know
Set
what? It's even better. This is how much it's gonna cost you.
zero, baby. We're not charging you.
All right.
Not
Just you
charging you
know
to be
what?
a
It
guest.
costs you your time. That's all it does. Your time to
Yeah,
just share in your mission and your vision. Especially if we believe in it too. It's like, yo, we would love to talk to you and pick your brain.
yeah,
'Cause, again, thank you, Don, for your platform. Because again,
yeah.
I've seen. I mean, you've spoken to such amazing people. I'm like, whoa, I never even knew this person was around. Whoa, whoa. So you really putting on some names out there, putting a highlight on people that we deserve to know about. So thank you for your
like I
platform.
said, and you hit it, on the head right there. We get to, part of it, and I tell people it's a little selfish on my part. I get to really pick the brains of super talented people and learn myself and get inspired myself, just like you, the viewers. You get inspired and learn things. I'm doing the same thing. Questions I ask, my friend Al and all the other friends that I've had on are questions on things that I want to know about and want to learn and get better at. So, like I said, I'm learning right along with you, the viewers, getting inspired right along with you, the viewers. And so I'm just honored that I can call everybody friends. Like I said, I don't have guests on. I have my friends on, and I've made some amazing friendships on this journey through this show that I've been doing. And Al is just one of them for sure. So I cannot thank you enough, Al. One for initially connecting with me, being my
Oh,
friend,
no doubt.
coming
Big
on
shout
your
out to
personal.
Dion Wilson for the connection too. Big Dion, baby.
Yeah, Dion, amazing brother as well. And that's what it's all about for me. It's community and just building a community of friends that can learn and connect and grow with one another. So again, like I said, I can't thank you enough. For all of you, like I said, we've had this. Like I said, I can't wait to get Al back on. I can't wait to be on his show for sure. But make sure that you connect with Al, connect with Comic Crusaders, check it out. You can find all of his contact info will be on the show notes for sure. You can connect with him on IG, Twitter, Facebook, Comic Crusaders. You can find that on IG, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. The amp. Yeah, tell me a little bit about the amp
Oh
and
yeah,
what you're
that,
doing
that
with
that's
the
my
amp.
new baby. I'm on
Your new
season
baby.
2 of it, and basically I'm talking to coaches, motivational folks on that. So that's something different than comic. Comic Shade is about creative people,
Yeah,
in the arts.
yeah,
But let's talk about business. How
yeah,
about that?
yeah,
So on the AMP, the Almega podcast, which
yeah,
is what the acronym is for, I speak to business
yeah,
leaders, motivators, and coaches. People that are out there is like, why do you do what you do to inspire others? You know what I mean?
yeah,
But that's a whole other mission. You know
yeah,
what I mean? That's a whole other art form, if you will.
yeah,
So the AMP is just talking about and reaching those people. I'm talking to people that, are self-made millionaires in that show. A
yeah,
total opposite of the creative aspect because unfortunately these people are on the journey to be self-made millionaires.
yeah,
When
yeah,
I talk to people, hopefully,
yeah.
now, listen, I try to
And
manifest
it's
on that
and
show.
it's an important part if you are, especially if you're an independent creator. Knowing the business is definitely an
Yes.
important part of it, and I'm super, excited. I finally, this was a long time coming, and he's going to be on in January. Chris Doe is going to be on the show. For all of you Chris Doe
Ooh.
fans, he is a very, very big influencer, but he talks about the business of creativity, being a creative business. He puts out a lot of contact with his company, The Future. So I'm super excited to be sitting down with him in January. But I think it's a necessary thing to know, especially again if you're an independent creator, how to handle the business side of being a creative for sure. So definitely kudos to you, Al, for putting out content like that because I think, like I said, it's very important. I'm trying to put that in and weave it into the color of motion because again, as a creative, especially if you're putting out your own content, you want to know the business. The big studios already know the business. That's why they're making millions of dollars off of your content. So if you want to make millions and billions of dollars as well, you got to be savvy enough and knowledgeable enough in just the inner workings of how money works and business works. So definitely check out the AMP and the Almega podcast as that comes on. Again, all this information will be on the show notes. But again, Al, man, brother, I can't thank you enough. My New York, Puerto Rican brother. Just been a blast having you on.
Thank you,
I
man.
love you, brother. We just have such an amazing time. You're a fun, amazing person, and again,
Thank
just can't wait to have you back on the show. And again, can't wait to get up to Connecticut to be on your show as well, man.
Oh, yeah, man, come down to the studio, folks. You guys have no idea. We're gonna be upgrading real soon. Live. No more little boxes. It's just one big box with two people on it. You know what I mean? So I can't wait till that happens. But no, thank you, Don, for allowing me onto this incredible platform of yours. I'm the one that's on it. I mean, I was supposed to go to Fan Expo today. And I was like, well, I better leave at this time because Fan Expo gonna get. But thank goodness there was no parking. I got some good steak sandwiches, and I came home. I said, "Yep, I'm super early for dawn. Let's go! I am ready to hit the color of motion, baby, and get it going." Woo!
For sure, for sure. Al, if you could hang out in the green room for just a minute while I close out the show. But
Absolutely.
everybody, please help me thank again the
Thank you, guys.
super talented and hilarious
Much
Al
love,
Vega,
everybody.
my friend. Again, Hades, thanks to you, Brother Don. Thank you. I know Al appreciated, but thank you again, Al, for being on. Hang out for just a second, brother, while I close out the show. Guys, gals, I know you have enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed it. Like I said, I love Al. Al is such a funny guy, and like I said, we just hit it off. You could tell, just New York all the way. But I love it, and can't wait to get him back on. You got it right, Dewan. His enthusiasm is infectious. You can't help but be excited when you talk with Al because that's just the way he is. And so that's why I have him on the show. Like I said, I know you have enjoyed this just as much as I have enjoyed it. It's been an amazing, amazing episode. I love doing these shows. I love it. I love this show. People ask me, how do you keep going on? You see how I keep going on when I have friends like this come on, viewers like you that tune in and support the show. Can't help but continue to do it. That's just how it is. Next week is going to be another fun episode for sure. We got some former TCOM family members coming back on the show and sharing their updates on what's been going on with them. Mr. Enrique Torres, creative director with Bond, and Miss Aubrey Eden Hughes, compositor and artist with Powerhouse Animation. So super looking forward to having them coming back on. Having one in season 1, season 2, and came on. So always love when TCOM family members come back onto the show and kind of update with us with what's been going on and share. I tell everybody and tell all of them, hey, once you're in the family, come back home sometimes and just say, hey, let us know what's going on. Well, this has been an amazing episode. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Hope everybody has a productive week and just have a great time. I will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Cheers, everybody.